Power doesn't belong to the loud. It belongs to the man who can stay silent and still own the room. They don't fear your strength. They fear your unpredictability. They fear the way you watch without revealing a single intention. A man becomes dangerous the moment he stops craving approval. A man becomes untouchable the moment he realizes pressure is a tool, not a threat. Control shifts toward the one who can stand still while everyone else reacts. Influence bends toward the one who never exposes his real motives. You're about to step into the mindset of 3 dark personalities that don't follow the world. They shape it. They don't chase power. They decide who gets it. Their presence forces honesty. Their mind forces respect. Their calm forces people to rethink their next move. If you're ready to operate from that level, if you're ready to become the force they can't predict or control, comment, "I rise without mercy," before we begin. 3 dark personalities shape an unstoppable man, and the first one never announces itself. It appears in the quiet moments, in the silence you choose, in the distance you maintain. This personality is the observer. He doesn't chase attention. He doesn't perform strength. He doesn't waste words trying to influence people. He lets their behavior expose them. Most men walk into a room looking for validation. The observer walks in to gather information. He tracks the energy. He measures the tension. He studies the shifts people make when they feel watched. He notices the lies people think are invisible, the nervous breath before a hidden intention, the forced confidence masking insecurity, the casual sentences meant to manipulate the conversation. He doesn't react. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't correct anyone. He gives them enough space to reveal who they truly are. This personality uses silence as strategy. It uses patience as leverage. It uses unpredictability as pressure. It uses clarity as strength. People become careful around the observer, not because he intimidates them, but because they cannot read him, and the mind fears what it cannot measure. He doesn't seek control. Control forms around him. He doesn't seek dominance. Dominance comes from seeing the truth before anyone else notices it. This is the first dark personality that builds an unshakable foundation, the one that makes you untouchable, because a man who sees clearly moves with precision, speaks with purpose, and waits with power. If you feel this personality forming inside you, comment, "I rise without mercy." There comes a point where watching is not enough, where planning is not enough, where waiting is no longer strategic. This is where the third dark personality steps out of the shadows, the predator. He doesn't chase chaos, he ends it. He doesn't talk about action, he becomes the action. He doesn't show aggression, he applies precision. Most people mistake the predator for anger. They think he acts from emotion. But emotion is weakness, noise, distraction. The predator operates from calculation, the kind that removes obstacles without hesitation, without guilt, without wasted movement. He doesn't rush toward opportunity, he eliminates what blocks it. He doesn't fight battles, he finishes them quick, clean, quiet. The predator isn't violent. Violence is messy, predictable, exhausting. His power is efficiency, a targeted strike, a final decision. A controlled ending that leaves no loose threads. He observes like the first personality. He calculates like the second. But he executes with a level of clarity most people never reach. He knows hesitation kills power, doubt kills momentum, fear kills dominance. So he cuts hesitation before it grows. He removes doubt before it spreads. He ends fear before it enters his system. This personality doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't seek reassurance. He doesn't ask if the timing is perfect. He creates the timing and removes anything that stands in his way. People feel the predator before they see him. They sense the certainty in your steps, the finality in your decisions, the calmness in your posture. A man who no longer negotiates his direction, a man who doesn't flinch, a man who doesn't break his own momentum for anyone. The predator's presence forces clarity. People stop testing you. They stop pushing you. They stop assuming you can be controlled because they feel a simple truth. You won't argue, you won't plead, you won't explain, you will simply do what needs to be done. Cold, decisive, unapologetic. This personality is not about destruction, it's about resolution, it's about ending manipulation, ending doubt, ending weakness, ending the internal noise that keeps men small. A man who carries this personality becomes dangerous in silence, not because he seeks conflict, but because he is not afraid of it. He doesn't escalate, he concludes. And once this personality activates, your life changes. Decisions get faster, boundaries get sharper, direction becomes straight, and people start treating you with a level of respect they never offered before, not because they're scared of you, but because they finally understand you cannot be moved. If you feel this third dark personality awakening inside you, comment, "I rise without mercy." 3 dark personalities. 3 forms of intelligence. 3 separate forces that change how a man moves. But the real shift doesn't come when they stand apart. It comes when they merge, when they operate together, when they function inside you as one disciplined system. The observer sees, the strategist decides, the predator executes. That order creates control, that sequence removes chaos, that structure builds dominance. Most men only operate in one mode. They watch, but never act. They plan, but never commit. They push forward without thinking. That's why they collapse under pressure. But your mind works differently now. When you walk into a room, the observer activates first, silent, detached, reading everything without reacting. Then the strategist takes over. He weighs motives, he studies intentions, he quietly shapes the direction that benefits you most. And when timing aligns, when hesitation in others becomes visible, when the path opens, the predator moves, not with noise, not with emotion, just with certainty. A clean decision, a controlled action, a final outcome. No explanations, no overthinking, no wasted energy. This integration makes you unpredictable. People can sense your presence, but they can't read your pattern. They don't know whether you're analyzing them, outthinking them, or preparing to act. That uncertainty creates pressure, and that pressure works for you without effort, without trying. Your voice becomes steady. Your movements become intentional. Your decisions carry weight. Your silence gains power. You stop operating like everyone else. You stop dividing your strength. You stop breaking character. The 3 personalities fuse into one dominant identity. Focused, calculated, decisive. This is the moment you stop reacting to life and life starts reacting to you. If you feel this integration building inside you, comment, "I rise without mercy." Power means nothing if it stays inside your mind. It has to enter the real world. It has to shape your behavior. It has to change the way you move through people, problems, and decisions. This is where the 3 dark personalities stop being theory and become advantage. When you face a conversation, the observer takes the lead. You don't rush your words. You don't try to impress. You don't try to prove anything. You let the other person speak. You let their intentions slip. You let their insecurities surface quietly, naturally, without pressure. People reveal everything when they think you're harmless. Then the strategist steps forward. He doesn't respond emotionally. He doesn't give them the reaction they expect. He chooses the angle that shifts the interaction in your favor. A single sentence, a small pause, a controlled gesture. You guide the direction without showing your hand. Most people talk to fill silence. You use silence to control them. And when the moment demands action, when someone crosses a line, when a boundary must be enforced, when a decision has to be final, the predator takes command. You don't escalate. You conclude. Clear words, direct stance. Intimidation is unnecessary. Certainty is enough. This is real-world dominance, not through aggression, not through volume, but through controlled presence. In conflict, you don't argue, you assess, you position, and when needed, you end the exchange with a line that leaves no room for misunderstanding in relationships. You don't beg for respect. You don't chase attention. You don't tolerate inconsistency. Your energy becomes selective. Your time becomes valuable. Your boundaries become non-negotiable. In work, you don't react to pressure. You use pressure to expose the weak. You keep your pace steady while others lose control. You make decisions based on outcome, not emotion. In goals, you don't hype yourself. You structure yourself. You build systems. You eliminate distractions. You execute with consistency. No excuses, no validation, no chaos. This is how dark, psychological awareness enters real life. Through stillness, through precision, through restraint, through a mind that sees more than it speaks, a mind that guides without revealing intent, a mind that acts without hesitation. The world responds differently to a man who operates like this. People become careful. Opportunities become clearer. Weak individuals pull away. Strong individuals take notice. And every environment shifts around your presence. Because you aren't reacting to the world anymore, you're shaping it. If you feel this shift starting inside your daily life, comment, "I act with disciplined power." When you change internally, the world changes around you, not because they suddenly understand you, but because they can no longer predict you. People fear what they cannot read and respect what they cannot move. A man carrying the 3 dark personalities does not blend into the environment. He alters it. The moment you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts, the conversation adjusts, the energy tightens. Not because you speak, but because your presence holds order. People become careful with their words. They stop exaggerating. They stop performing confidence. They stop pushing boundaries because your silence forces them to confront their own instability. Weak men feel exposed. They sense the way you notice their insecurity. They sense the way your eyes catch their hesitation. They sense that lying to you is pointless. So they avoid confrontation. They avoid unnecessary arguments. They avoid testing your patience. Manipulative people collapse the fastest. Their tricks depend on reaction, and you don't give them any. They attempt to provoke emotion. You give them stillness. They attempt to pull you into confusion. You give them clarity. They attempt to create pressure. You turn the pressure back onto them simply by not reacting. This makes them uncomfortable, uneasy, disoriented, because manipulators need chaos, and you operate with precision. Strong individuals behave differently. They don't fear you. They recognize you. They see control. They see discipline. They see a mindset built on calm power, and strong people respect what they cannot corrupt. They engage with intention. They speak with honesty. They value your presence because it's rare. Those in authority treat you with caution, not because you challenge them, but because you don't worship their status. They sense that your intelligence doesn't bend, that your respect is selective, that your loyalty is conditional. It shifts the dynamic instantly. Even in public, your behavior changes the flow. People step out of your way, not out of fear, but out of instinct. Your posture is steady. Your eyes are controlled. Your pace is consistent. There is no desperation, no scattered movement, no frantic energy, just direction. The world rewards direction. Conversations become shorter. Arguments become unnecessary. Drama stops involving you. People hesitate before disagreeing. Not because you intimidate them, but because your presence holds a kind of order they don't want to disrupt. You don't demand respect. Your behavior commands it. This is the psychological effect of becoming unreadable. Unreactive, unshakeable people may not understand your mind, but they feel your discipline, and that alone changes how they stand in front of you. If you recognize these shifts happening around you, comment, "My presence bends the room." A man doesn't become unstoppable overnight. He becomes unstoppable through the small, precise shifts no one notices at first. Shifts in posture, shifts in breath, shifts in silence, shifts in direction. This transformation is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not emotional, it's disciplined. You don't announce that you've changed. People feel it, slowly, uncomfortably, inevitably. Your body language transforms first. You stop moving like someone who needs validation. Your shoulders settle. Your breathing slows. Your eyes stop scanning for approval. Your presence becomes still, not stiff. Stillness is control. You don't rush to speak because powerful men don't rush. They evaluate. They choose their words like weapons, not like fillers. When you talk, your sentences become short, straight, clean, deadly, clear, no decoration, no softness, just intent. Your voice lowers naturally, not because you're trying to sound strong, but because you no longer feel pressure to perform strength. Strength becomes a default, not an act. People feel this shift. They start adjusting their tone around you. Some speak more carefully, some speak less. Some don't speak at all, because they sense they're not dealing with the same version of you. Your gaze changes next. You don't stare aggressively. You don't look away nervously. Your eyes become steady, controlled, focused. You look at people the way a man looks when he already knows more than he is saying. The gaze of someone who is never surprised, never caught off guard, never unprepared. Your decisions change. You don't ask for permission. You don't wait for approval. You don't look for reassurance. You choose and you move directly. The more predictable others become, the less predictable you remain. Your reactions slow down. Your anger disappears. Your emotional spikes die out because you don't let people pull you into their chaos anymore. Their noise no longer enters you. Your standards sharpen. You stop tolerating people who drain your energy. You stop giving chances to those who repeat their mistakes. You stop investing in anyone who doesn't match your direction. Your circle becomes smaller but stronger. Your relationships become quieter but deeper. Your interactions become fewer but more deliberate. People say you've become distant, cold, detached. But the truth is simpler. You've cut the parts of yourself that kept you weak. You've removed the version that was easy to manipulate. You've silenced the voice that wanted to be liked. You've killed the habit of explaining your worth to anyone. Now your transformation is visible, not because you show it, but because everyone else feels it. The observer sharpens your awareness. The strategist strengthens your decisions. The predator solidifies your actions. The three personalities aren't tools anymore. They've become your identity, a structure inside you, a system, a way of operating. You're no longer moved by feelings. You're guided by intention. You're no longer impressed by noise. You're anchored in clarity. You're no longer shaped by the world. You're shaping your own direction. This is the transformation people fear. The moment you stop being predictable, the moment you stop being available, the moment you stop being breakable. If you feel this transformation happening inside you, comment "My silence holds authority." Every transformation carries a cost, and the price of becoming unshakable is not paid in money. It's paid in distance, in detachment, in silence, in the parts of yourself you leave behind. People want power, but they avoid the sacrifices required to hold it, because true strength doesn't expand your world. It refines it, cuts it, hardens it. When you step into the mind of these three dark personalities, your life becomes sharper, cleaner, simpler, but it also becomes more isolated, not lonely. Isolated. There's a difference. Loneliness is wanting connection. Isolation is choosing standards as you evolve. You stop fitting into the places you used to tolerate. You stop laughing at meaningless conversations. You stop participating in emotional chaos. You stop allowing people to drain your clarity with their confusion. People say you've changed. What they mean is, you stopped letting us control you. The more disciplined you become, the fewer people can stand next to you, because discipline exposes their lack of discipline. Your silence exposes their noise. Your calm exposes their volatility. Your consistency exposes their chaos. Some will call you cold. Some will call you distant. Some will call you arrogant, but none of them will say the truth out loud, that your evolution makes them uncomfortable. Your boundaries get stronger and weak people break against them. Your standards rise and most people fall below them. Your direction becomes fixed, and those who wander lose their place in your life. You don't cut people off. They cut themselves off by refusing to grow, by refusing to reflect, by refusing to rise to your level. And this is the price. Not emotional pain, but emotional clarity. You begin to see people exactly as they are, not as you hoped they would be, not as their words claimed, as their behavior revealed. That level of clarity removes illusions, and illusions are what keep most relationships alive. When the illusions die, so do the connections built on them. This is why powerful men walk alone more often, Not because they can't bond, but because they refuse to bond with weakness. They don't seek validation. They don't chase belonging. They don't cling to comfort. A powerful man chooses alignment, not attachment, direction, not distraction, truth, not emotional convenience. The cost of becoming unstoppable is letting go of the version of yourself who tolerated what disrespected you, who entertained what drained you, who accepted what wasn't worthy of you. You kill the weakness within you, and in that process, the people who needed that weakness disappear. But the reward is worth the cost. Clarity becomes your shield. Direction becomes your weapon. Self-respect becomes your foundation. You may lose people, but you gain yourself. And a man who gains himself loses nothing of value. If you understand this cost and still choose the path, comment, "My will is unbreakable." There comes a moment when the change inside you becomes visible. Not because you try to show it, but because the man you were can no longer exist. This is the identity shift, the quiet transformation, the point where you stop living by old patterns and start moving with a new internal architecture. Your reactions change first. You don't rise to provocation. You don't break into emotion. You don't defend ego. You stay still. Measured, clear people who once understood you lose their ability to predict you. Their influence fades. Their assumptions collapse because the version of you they knew no longer operates here. Your mind becomes sharper. Your thoughts become clean. Your emotions become tools, not triggers. You don't look for validation. You don't seek reassurance. You don't chase attention because your identity stops depending on anyone's approval. Your priorities shift. You value discipline over comfort, direction over distraction, truth over attachment. Your boundaries grow firm, not loud, just firm. You don't explain them. You don't negotiate them. You enforce them with calm certainty. Your voice changes. It becomes grounded, steady, intentional. When you speak, people listen because your words carry weight, not noise. Your silence gains authority. It forces others to confront their own instability. They adjust around you because your presence doesn't move for anyone. Your walk changes, not with arrogance, but with clarity. Your steps have direction. Your energy is centered. Your focus is fixed. This identity isn't built on emotion. It's built on discipline, on awareness, on decisive action. The observer changed how you see. The strategist changed how you decide. The predator changed how you act. Together, they reshape you from the inside into a man who cannot be pushed, cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken. This new identity is not loud, not emotional, not dramatic. It is stable, controlled, unshakable. This is the identity of a man who leads himself, and because he leads himself, he naturally leads the room. If you feel this identity building inside you, comment, "I walk the path of power." Every journey reaches a point where you can't go back, not because something stops you, but because the man you were no longer exists. You've seen too much. You've understood too much. You've detached from too much to return to the weak patterns you once lived in. This final shift is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, controlled, absolute. You now carry a presence built on clarity. Your silence has weight. Your decisions have direction. Your mind has structure, and structure creates dominance. Most men never reach this point. They get inspired for a day, then fall back into noise, back into softness, back into the identity that kept them small. But you're not here for inspiration. You're here for transformation. You're here to rebuild yourself with intention, with discipline, with cold precision. Understand this. Power isn't a single lesson. Power is a process, a path, a series of controlled steps that forge a new identity. The 3 dark personalities you've learned aren't temporary ideas. They are a system, a structure, a way of thinking that must be reinforced. If you want this version of yourself to become permanent, you must continue the sharpening. You must continue the discipline. You must continue the evolution. That means you don't watch one video. You follow the entire path, one lesson at a time, one shift at a time, one mindset at a time. My content isn't made to entertain you. It's made to build you, to harden you, to refine you, to remove the weakness the world tried to place inside you. If you want this transformation, you must commit to it, not emotionally, not temporarily, but with the same cold consistency that creates power in silence. So here is your command. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Not for me, for the man you are becoming. Go to the next video. Not out of curiosity, but out of discipline. The process continues. The mind sharpens. The identity strengthens. The power builds. Say it, claim it, comment. I do not bow. Then move forward and keep building the mindset. They cannot read. The presence they cannot shake. The identity they cannot break. Your rise is just beginning.